With our eyes closed, our consciousness uplifted, and offer an affirmation for immortality. We'll do this 5 times. You repeat after me. I am a child of eternity.
I am a child of eternity.
I am ageless.
I am ageless.
I am deathless.
I am deathless.
I am changeless spirit
I am changeless spirit.
at the heart of all mutation.
At the heart of all mutation.
I am a child of eternity.
I am a child of eternity.
I am ageless.
I am ageless.
I am deathless.
I am deathless.
I am the changeless spirit
I am the changeless spirit.
at the heart of all mutation.
At the heart of all mutation.
Now, softly. I am a child of eternity. I am ageless. I am deathless. I am the changeless spirit at the heart of all mutation. Now whisper, I am a child of eternity. I am ageless. I am deathless. I am the changeless spirit at the heart of all mutation. And then mentally, I am a child of eternity. I am ageless. I am deathless. I am the changeless spirit at the heart of all mutation. Feeling that part of us, the immortal soul which resides in each one of us. Let's offer this prayer. Wherever my body travels outwardly, let me feel thy changeless presence within. Wherever my thoughts take me, let them return always, like prodigal children, to find repose in thee. Om. Amen.
Today's reading in remembrance of the sacred day is taken from week 15 of the book Rays of the One Light by Paramahansa Yogananda, explained by Swami Kriyananda. Resurrection for every soul. Truth is one and eternal. Realize oneness with it in your deathless self within. The following commentary is based on the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda. In the Gospel of St. John, chapter 20, we read the inspiring account of Jesus' resurrection. The first day of the week cometh Mary Magdalene early, when it was yet dark, unto the sepulchre, and seeth the stone taken away from the sepulchre. Then she runneth and cometh to Simon Peter, and to the other disciple whom Jesus loved, and said unto them, They have taken away the Lord. Then the same day at evening, being the first day of the week, when the doors were shut, where the disciples were assembled for fear of the Jews, came Jesus and stood in their midst, and said unto them, Peace be unto you. The resurrection of Jesus, doubted by many but affirmed by those who were close to him, was a miraculous event, though one not unique in history. For many great saints of other religions have appeared to their disciples after death. Sometimes their appearances have been, as that of Jesus was, in flesh and blood form, and not only in vision. Paramahansa Yogananda relates in Autobiography of a Yogi the account of his guru, Sri Yukteswar's resurrection after his earthly passing. Miracles of this type are revealed only rarely to the masses, but accounts of them related by men and women of reputed truthfulness have inspired many devotees with faith in the reality of subtler than material states of existence. Resurrection, Yogananda explained, means transformation, ultimately from any lower state of being to a higher one. Worldly consciousness cannot imagine such transformation except in terms of perhaps an improvement of the present mess of pottage with the addition of a new flavoring. Divine consciousness, however, is capable of taking the base metal of worldliness and transforming it into the spiritual gold of divine wisdom and love. In keeping with this truth, the Bhagavad Gita in the 9th chapter tells us, "Ah, ye who into this ill world are come, fleeting in falls, set your faith fast on me, fix heart and thought on me, adore me, bring offerings to me, make me prostrations, make me your supremest joy, and undivided unto my rest, your spirits shall be guided." Thus, through Holy Scripture, God has spoken to mankind. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. I'll now hand it to Latha.
Thank you, Bhavniji. So, it's a beautiful message. This week is in many ways helping us remember two big events. One, the death of Christ on the cross, and then Easter, the resurrection, the celebration of Son of Man ascending back to unite with his Father in heaven. And Master very beautifully explained it, and there's a small audio clip that we will listen to at the end of this talk, where he said it's important for us to understand the symbolism of both these events. The cross is a very commonly seen symbol of Christianity, and oftentimes we associate it with suffering. And yes, there is truth in it, that it is a reminder of what humanity did to someone who came to really uplift consciousness and came with as a messenger of his Father in heaven. But the important thing to remember is that, even if in this room, if I asked, is there anyone who's not suffering? I don't think there would be a hand that will go up. Yeah? We are all suffering in one way or the other. And that's for a number of reasons, and we don't have to rationalize why we are suffering. But this is a central message of the teachings of Christ. He said, if you want to follow me, forget yourself, take your cross and follow me. And that cross is what each of us go through in everyday life in various forms. But when we are not accepting of the sufferings that come to us, that is when we are walking away from God. And it's our little ego saying, this shouldn't happen to me. I don't deserve this. But when something nice comes our way, we are more than happy to receive and celebrate and feel very happy about it, even though it's like Bhavniji was reading, a fleeting joy. But we're very happy to celebrate all the material things that come our way, all the good news that we hear around us, and all the comforts that we have. But when it comes to the tests and trials, we always look for ways of escaping. And even minor discomforts, if you just sit back and think of it, how often we complain. Yeah? Maybe if this AC was not working in the room already, people are feeling very sweaty and uncomfortable, and oh, look at the temperature, it's so hot. From little things to the traffic to everyday life's trials to real sufferings that come. But it is a fact that the world is going through a time of great hardship. There is geopolitical situation around the world. There's a financial crisis happening. It's going to have an impact on work and inflation and livelihoods and all of that. We just came out of something huge where millions of people died. But that is the way of the world. And Strange as it may seem to us lesser mortals, but God has His plans. And this is a central message of the Bible, that if you want to follow me, take your cross, forget yourself, and follow me. So this is a bit of a test that every devotee goes through. And in the Bible, Christ has explained this through many parables. And even this story, which to some way was related in the affirmation and the reading, the story of the prodigal son is a parable that Christ chose to explain God's love for each one of us. And it also reflects on the other message of Easter, which is what we are celebrating today, which is of resurrection and of transformation. And Master emphasized this again and again, that the message of Easter is one of transformation, but it's not something that can happen to you only at that time. In every breath, he said, there is an opportunity for us to transform ourselves. If you wanted to give up a bad habit, you could just say, from my next breath, I'm not going to do this. And there will be a force that will help you hold it up. But there's also a counter force, which is the force of Maya, which keeps pulling us away from our resolutions and takes us away from what we want to do. But it is about strengthening our energies, being in attunement with our teachings, practicing them and practicing devotion so that we can stay steadfast on our purpose. And that transformation happens on every day, every night when you go to sleep. Swami said this, that when you go to sleep, if there is something that you want to change about yourself, if you went to sleep with that thought, took it very strongly into your subconscious, and then woke up the next morning with the resolve and the faith that there is a force behind you, it's possible for you to change that habit. So transformation is, again, something that we can do anytime we want. But we continue to remain shrouded in Maya. And which is where the story of the prodigal son is a beautiful one. So there was a very wealthy man who had 2 sons, and he had a large farm and a lot of wealth. He lived in a palatial home. And the man was getting old, and he said he wanted to kind of give his property away to his children, will it to them. And the younger son said, oh sure, I'll take my property and I want to go away. And the father felt very hurt about this, that the son was leaving him, but there was nothing he could do to stop him. And so he took his share, which was substantial, of the wealth, and he went to live in a faraway town. His ways were a bit wayward, and so therefore he spent his money on a number of not such good things to do. I won't go into the details of that. And very soon he lost all his money. And he became penniless. And his friends left him. All the crowd around him just disappeared because they were there for a good time. And once the money was gone, they didn't want to be with him. So he started to work for a farmer in that town. And the job he got was to look after pigs in the farm. And this farmer was a very cruel farmer, so he didn't give him food to eat. He paid him very less. And so this young man was eating pig feed on the farm. He did that for a while, out of shame for what he had done to his father. And then he thought, let me go back home and ask my father if I can just be a servant on his farm. My father gives better food to his servants. At least I can fill my stomach. I don't have any right to be his son. And so the son started walking back home. And just when he was in the vicinity of the home, and that's the love of a parent, the father could sense that. He ran out and he was in tears when he saw his son. And he called all his servants and said, wash him up, give him a new robe, make him wear some rings, and let's celebrate, get the best animal on the farm, which is a well-fed one, and have a feast for all our friends. And the son fell at his feet and said, Father, I don't deserve any of this. I just want to be a servant on your farm. And he said, no, no, no. He picked him up and said, how can this be? You are my son, and we are going to celebrate this. And so there was loud music playing, and the delicacies for the feast were being prepared, and there was a lot of rejoicing around. The older son, who was working on the farm, started coming back home, and he saw all of this celebration and noise coming from the house, music playing. So he called one of the servants and asked, "What's happening?" And he said, "Your little brother is back, and your father has announced a feast to celebrate this." He was very upset. He said he's taken his share of the property. He left the farm and all the responsibilities to me. And when he comes back, when his money is over, look what father is doing. The father saw the older son coming, and he went running to him again and said, "Look, your brother is back." And he said, "Yeah, my brother is back, but all these years I've been so loyal to you, and you never even gave me a goat kid to celebrate with my friends. And you've taken the best animal on the farm for the feast. I'm very upset about this." And the father said to him, "Son, you were always with me. Everything I have belongs to you. But look how your brother has reformed himself. It's almost as if he's come back from the dead." And the older brother understood, and they hugged each other and celebrated. This was a parable that Christ shared as a message of how God waits for each one of us to walk back home. But we keep walking away in our own vrittis and delusions and our own attractions, which are not pure and not ideal for a devotee. And it's a reminder that when you walk back home, God, Christ, and Gurus will receive you with open arms. And every lifetime is in many ways a walking back home. We can choose how we want to live our lives and how many times we want to walk back home and then walk away like the prodigal son, or reform ourselves, transform ourselves. But it is a hard path. There are no shortcuts. There will be a lot of suffering. And it just takes us to remember that when we suffer, there is also protection. When we walk towards the divine, there is great celebration. And remembering to carry our cross and forgetting ourselves is the central message of Easter. So we'll take a moment to listen to Master's voice, where he talks about the power of transformation that is there in Easter. So Tushar, if you could play that for us.
As after the death of leaves, new leaves grow. As old stars are dead, new stars are reborn. So Jesus Christ, after the death of his body, he revealed another body to show that all those who receive God truly, they can be sons of God like him. And on this holy occasion, may you all remember how to resurrect your spirit, resurrect your body in heaven, even as Jesus Christ did.
So let's carry this message of Easter into our lives and remember to carry our crosses with a smile, just as Jesus Christ did, and walk back to our divinity.